the way I do my marketing for my business, or for me to get business and leads, I like to think of it as a triple threat thing. So it is social media posting, it's networking, like DMing people. Like I think I DM you saying you've been on Kazi's podcast, how was it? So that's,
Yeah.
for me, that's a form of networking, right? So doing all three has helped. I think if it was just social media, it'd be okay. If it was just one or the other, it wouldn't work. But for me, all three.
I've had it for 17 years. All my clients a lot of them is recommendations, referrals. So social media was the last thing on my list. And then I think when I went, obviously, to step it up and you go to Dubai, and social media is massive out there.
Everyone's on social media there.
Yeah, I was like, oh wow, this actually works. Hi guys, and welcome to See Both Sides Like Chanel. I have got an amazing guest today, Shaz. Oh my God, Shaz, I need your surname.
Ahmed.
Yes.
Shaz Ahmed. Yeah.
Shaz Ahmed, and today we're going to be talking about money because he's our finance expert. I'm calling you, and guru, and we're going to obviously speak about his highlights. So welcome, Shaz. Thank you.
Thank you for having me on See Both Sides Like Chanel. It's the podcast with the best name I've been on this show.
Is that why you come on?
Just the name, purely. I've been telling everyone, look at this podcast I'm going to go on. See Both Sides Like Chanel.
Yeah, I'm going to probably get some artists to come and sing in a few shows.
Frank Ocean?
I don't know. Frank, will you come on? Will you come on, bro?
He's in hiding, isn't he?
Yeah, God knows.
Yeah.
So, no, honestly, thank you for coming down. I know you love podcasts.
I do love podcasts. Listen, I'm an international guest from Wales. All right. This is big.
You come all the way from Wales, so thank you so much. So let's talk about your highlights.
Yes.
2017, you were redundant.
I did.
2018, sacked.
Yeah.
I would say highlights. I would say more like
low lights so far.
Mid-ish life.
Yeah.
But life-changing the lights. 2019, self-employed, and you set up a burger restaurant. 2022, set up your own business. So it's not long ago. And 2023, nominated for Industry Entrepreneur Awards, and you've appeared on BBC Radio and numerous industry press shows. Okay, so I would like to say,
yes.
well, within 5 years,
Yeah.
is there a lot's happened, right?
A lot's happened. I think this last year just gone, so from August to now, has been like rocket speed all the way to the top. It's been really good.
So your redundancy,
Yes.
what's the story?
So I used to work for Barclays Bank in the call centre doing mortgages. It was all right. It's pretty mundane, just on the phone, churning and burning business. It wasn't really any kind of job satisfaction, if I'm honest. But I was happy that I was mundane and just getting on with it. And then they obviously moved all the jobs to Liverpool. Of all places, Liverpool. Not even offshore. Do you know what I mean? Like,
you're in Wales, but okay.
Yeah. So they moved all the jobs away. But I did take that as a blessing because they gave us 6-month gardening leave, so paying us to do nothing, and obviously money. So I set the burger restaurant side by side and started that.
So when did you? So you studied. So obviously for advice that people that are watching and want to get into mortgages and finance. How was that journey?
You know, I got lucky. Like honestly, I was living this really like mundane life in South Wales.
Yeah.
Living with my parents, doing nothing extraordinary, working through call centres that everyone does when you're a young Asian boy. And I was working for Lloyds Bank first. Left that, and Barclays were offering to pay for your CMAP qualification. So to be a mortgage broker, you have to have a CMAP qualification.
Yeah.
So Barclays like, we'll pay for that. I was like, okay, well, fine. What's the worst that could happen, right? Got paid for Barclays to do it. And I was then there for 4 years before the redundancy happened. But I think looking back, working in a corporate environment really helped because you understand processes, compliance, procedures. Whereas if I'd just been self-employed all the way through, I wouldn't.
What were you doing before that? How was your upbringing?
It's good. We used to own a corner shop, obviously. But we used to live upstairs. It was cute. It was great. It was so good.
It's not typical at all.
Sweets on demand, Magnum bars whenever I wanted it.
Pick and mix.
Saw my dad work all hours, So I learned all that kind of stuff from my dad. In terms of work, my first ever job was selling windows on the phone.
Okay.
Very unethical. Like, we'd be like, hey, Chanel, we're actually at your neighbour's house right now. When can we come and see you? Oh, I don't want to see you. No, we'll be there in 5 minutes. And you couldn't come off the phone until you...
Sounds like me when I'm going for evaluation.
There you go, exactly. Listen, avoid this. But very unethical because then we'd hear that the guys who would come and visit would never leave until the sale was done.
Okay.
I didn't enjoy it. It was just a good first job to have.
Okay. So I feel like that's a big basis is sales and customer service.
Yes.
Two things that you can't go without in life. I think for you to be good at selling anything, you have to be good with people.
Yes.
Number one rule. And number two, you have to actually be likable.
Yeah, and you have to be able to solve problems at the end of the day. You have to be good at what you're doing. Like, it's all
Yeah.
good being charming or...
I think that
know.
was my last thing I learned. I think first was being charming
Yeah.
and knowing about your product,
Yeah.
obviously, and then finding out what the person wants and giving it to
solve
them.
problem. You get paid for what you solve.
Yeah. Okay. So that was your upbringing. You got your CMAP,
Mm-hmm.
and then you went to a well-known bank,
Mm-hmm.
and then you got made redundant. How was your mental health after going through something like that?
It was fine.
You were
I think, yeah, you know what it is? Because I think I was of the thought that we've got a qualification, we're getting paid for 6 months to do nothing, and we're getting a payout. So
Yeah.
what are you worrying about? There was a lot of people in that office, though, who'd been there but a lot longer, so 15, 20 years.
But I mean, going back to 2017, it was 2018. It was quite a good time in the finance industry, would you say? In the mortgage world?
Yes. I think what people don't realize about mortgage world is so even like now when rates are really high, because they are quite high, right? It's hard to get a residential mortgage.
Coming down again,
but like it's residential market that suffers when it's like first time buyers getting their deposits or paying their mortgage. Investors, which is what I work in, they're always investing. They'll always look for a deal. So even through COVID or rate rises, the budget, that market of investor finance hasn't really had much of an issue at all. So I wasn't concerned, honestly. I was just like, it's just another thing, another learning, another challenge, and we'll just get on with it.
Okay. Amazing. Well done for that, because obviously you set out. So did you always know you wanted to do mortgage broking?
Absolutely not.
No?
No, I hate to say this. I don't even like finance or mortgages. I have no I have no interest. I have no interest in it, in a sense of I've not grown up looking at The Economist and looking at the markets. I understand it and I'm good at it, I guess, but my passion is helping people. So this is a vehicle that allows me to help as many people as possible.
And podcasting, it does that. And I say this in every one of my shows. Every single guest I bring on is to help people.
Yes.
I'm here to help people. The world should be about helping people through knowledge and obviously education. And that's what we're here to do.
We don't gatekeep around here.
No. So, I mean, and another thing is, most people out there are actually not living what they truly want to do. And it's pretty sad. That's why I feel like you're actually more successful when you are doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
And you're good at it. And that's two things that you need to do.
So
really.
that's part of the reason I'm kind of good you mentioned it, is why I left the burger restaurant. So that was running really well, but my heart wasn't in it. I was just, I'm not enjoying this. Like something's not right. So I sold it back to my family, who were kind of partners in it, because I just wasn't enjoying it. And it came to a point where I'd be there in the restaurant on my laptop doing mortgage deals. It's like, this does not make sense.
Yeah.
And I'd be in the office 9 to 5 and then there 6 to 11. I was like, forget the money. This just isn't what I want to do. So I left that.
So, I mean, I personally think it's great to diversify in businesses. It's if you want to do the restaurant industry is a very tough industry.
I love burgers though.
Yeah, tell me about it. I'm not going to tell you how many times I've eaten burgers this weekend. Christmas is killed me. I'm not going to lie. Back in the gym next week. So, but it's good that you actually had that knowledge and you opened up a restaurant and you realised it weren't for you, and it's okay to open and close down businesses sometimes.
Yeah, it's still running, by the way.
Ah,
it's still running. They still give me free food when I turn up, which is not very often anymore. I'm not what's the word? I'm
unhealthy eater.
Yeah. Well, I'm just not there fishing for free food. You know?
Where is it anyway? I don't mind going.
It's
for
in
a free
South Wales.
burger.
It's called Burger and Co. It's Newport's best burger restaurant.
Okay, I'll be there when I get to Wales, in between Dubai. So, when you left, what was your big turning point to where you are today? Really
good question. For me, I think it was getting sacked. So after redundancy, set up the burger restaurant, but also got into a job as a mortgage broker, working with investors.
How was that?
This is it. So I think it was a bit alien to me. I wasn't very good in my first year because the language was different. We didn't do HMOs in Barclays, or we didn't do really buy-to-let. So I didn't understand the lingo. Networking events, I didn't quite understand what people were doing there. So I wasn't really good. I was learning, but I wasn't great straight away. And after 11 months, I got sacked. I think that was the turning point, because I was like, hang on. Because after like month 10, I was doing really well all of a sudden. And then it sacked me with some BS reason. And I remember sitting in the car park thinking, what on earth has just happened? Like, people like me don't get sacked from jobs. Like, what am I going to tell my mum? You know, I wasn't living at home, by the way, but it's still.
So, because you got redundant and sacked all within a space.
Yeah. And the sacking, again, the reasons were very untrue. We had to go through tribunal and stuff, but it was just like, hang on, if anyone can do this once I'm performing, I can't let anyone else control my lifestyle or my income. I need to kind of take control myself. So that's when I was like, I don't want another job. I want to do my own thing.
So you opened up your own company now?
Yeah, well, I went self-employed then under another firm for I think 3 years, and that was great. You know what? The guy who was the boss of that, he was like a mentor to me, unofficial. He didn't know he was doing it, but he was able to kind of challenge me when I needed to be challenged, or control my ego, control bits, and make me the best kind of broker that I can be.
Yeah, the ego has to leave.
Ego has to leave. It's not about ego, but
It has to go.
the best thing is we left on really good terms. I was like,
Yeah.
listen, this is what I want to do. It's like great,
good.
and we still see each other now. So
But he supported you
100%.
For your journey, and I feel like that's what even your directors of businesses should do. They should show a good example. Hence why I'm here with one of my staff members today.
He's the man over there.
So and I think it's really important to be close with your team and be a good role model and influential to everyone around you. Most importantly, the people that you're working with on a daily basis, on a one-to-one, being good with everyone, down to people that are helping you, even especially in Dubai, you've got housekeepers and people that come and bring your food to your door.
Yeah.
Like, you can't walk 2 steps without getting help in Dubai.
It's true. It's true.
But it's an amazing place to live. Okay, I'm going to ask you some questions and then we can go back to your live.
Okay.
So, what would you say currently with the market that we're in today is the best investment strategies? And do you diversify?
Yes and no. It's a great question. Very topical. I think if you are looking for cash flow, it depends what you want. If you want cash flow, then I probably wouldn't even buy a house right now. I would do like rent.
Don't listen to him.
This guy's terrible. No, listen. Do like rent to rent. Property management.
Right.
So give a landlord guaranteed rent. Maybe stick that on Airbnb, and you'll make a lot of money. And I know people doing it. 15, 20, 30, 25 units make a lot of cash flow. They don't own the asset, so there's no capital appreciation. They're not benefiting from that. But then do they want to? Probably not. So low entry costs, a lot of headache with management is its job, but cash flow wise, that's what I'd recommend. If you are looking to build up your cash pot, then I do things like flips. So buy the worst house on the street, do it up, make it the best house on the street, and then sell it, or you can keep it and pull as much money back as possible.
Okay. Have you done any of these?
I've done. I've got a couple of rent-to-rents. Not a lot. All hands off. Get management company.
Yeah.
I've done 2 buy, refurb, refinances in South Wales. Didn't enjoy the process. Didn't enjoy tenants. So I've sold them as well.
Yeah.
So right now, focused on just the business.
That's why I asked you, because flipping properties is one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life.
That's easier said than done.
It's really tough. I've obviously been buying since age of 24. I'm not going to give you my age away, but it's quite
26.
Quite a while now. Yeah, 2 years. And I would say flipping property in any market is tough, even in the good market.
What do you find tough?
What I find challenging is your expectation, managing your expectations
About the money you're going to get back?
Yeah.
Okay.
And about the property. Because you do kind of get emotionally attached to
100%.
your developments. I'm sure you were there as well. I'm lucky. If you've got a good building team, it really helps.
Yep.
I think that's your biggest challenge. I'm very lucky. Again, my dad
Oh.
did all my developments. So I was lucky in that sense. But I learned so much because I'm a builder's daughter.
Yeah.
And I was on a building site from the age of 2. I learned a lot
With
about...
the hard hat on.
Oh, I love a hard hat. And a ladder.
Ladder, right.
Yeah.
Well, just one thing on that
Not
as well,
scared of heights.
to help your listeners and viewers is, when you're flipping, you might think the end value is X. But you've got to remember, if someone's buying it on a mortgage, when the value comes out, they're going to base it on sold comparables that are on land registry. Land reg is like 6 to 9 months out of date. So you may have made this amazing end product, high-end finish, black taps. We love black taps.
And you're like, Bill next door got 2 million for this. Why is mine 1.4?
Absolutely.
And they'll be like, well, Bill didn't sell it.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
might have just remarketed it or
so the key with that
refinanced
is
property.
try and spend less on the finish, as less as you can, but still make it a good
Depends on the
product.
area, obviously, and the product design. I think that is key. And developments. Have you got any advice for developers at the moment?
Developers right now, it's cash flow. It's managing your cash flow for your projects. If it's a 15-month project, what a rate's going to be and what your costs for your builders, everything's going to be for 15 months. I say to people, try and get a fixed price contract instead of a schedule of works with just costings. Fixed price contracts means really they can't change the price apart from a few maybe it's ifs and buts. If you look at the lending on it,
On development finance.
How's
that going?
It's all right. It's the busiest thing we're doing right now is a lot of
Do you know
development.
why? Because they're just itching to give you cash.
100%. People don't realize.
Interest is so high.
People say to me, look, lenders are asking too many questions. It's been really difficult. They're looking for reasons not to lend. And I'm like, they're not making any money until they lend you the money. Like, so they actually do all the admin, making zero until you give them the money out. They want to lend you the money, but they just have to cover their bums, for the risk, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, so obviously from one end of the spectrum to the other, you've got first-time buyers to developers, so.
And again, just put it in perspective, I deal with a lot of first-timers who've been on a property education course and now suddenly want to do like a new build, right? Great. They don't have an income because they've just left their jobs to go full-time and rent to rent.
Yeah.
Don't have any assets, live at home with their parents, which is fine. But then what that means is their personal guarantee is really weak.
Yeah.
So when they're signing the forms for the lender, of course they're going to ask more questions because they've got no PGs.
Listen, the UK have made it hard for a reason.
Yeah.
And I believe they don't want the small one-person band to actually thrive, especially now and in the future. That's why my advice is just buy anything you can and work it up. Because one shot on that ladder, there's just no stopping you. I'm sure you see it as well, like with some of your clients from one property. It's when you see their growth, when they get to about 10, it's a massive turning point, isn't it, in people's lives? Owning 10 properties in the UK.
It's a lot. I mean, so my biggest client, it's the biggest, my most prolific client, he bought 15 in 9 months in South Wales. So lower cost of entry, but 15 in 9 is massive. And now he's buying businesses because he's like, I'm done with property. Let's just buy a business. But yeah, sorry, just development finance again.
Yeah.
It's interesting what you said because there are like John Lewis and Lloyd's. They want to now become homeowners, right? They want to build developments themselves. So yeah, it's the first timers and the newbies who are struggling, not these big guys.
Yeah.
Would you live in a John Lewis house?
Because I sell projects in Dubai, and here I'm a developer and a broker. Whereas I'm not even a broker. I'm an estate agent. That's how I still see myself.
You are Chanel.
I am a woman of every
You are
trade,
Chanel.
But when you're going into like Masoni apartment, and you're like, okay, Versace, and then you're like, it's a little bit weird. I find that the branded residence, Dorchester, is a fantastic brand.
There's a lot of branded residences. That's it. I'm seeing branded residences everywhere. I
see why it's happening because obviously in Dubai it's really big, and to be honest, I've got 25% premium.
Okay.
So it's plus tax on your branded residence.
This is your podcast, but I'm just going to ask you. With a lot of these, I'm friends with a lot of the agents in Dubai. Similar to what you do. And I've noticed that no one really has exclusive stuff anymore. Everyone's got all the deals. They just want. Why not? Why is no one exclusive?
Because
is it that hard to be exclusive?
The commission is so high that they just give everyone a chance, which is really nice and fair. It's completely different structure to UK. Brokering out there because you don't need conveyancers.
Yeah.
Mortgage. To be honest, the mortgage world out there is pretty good.
Okay.
Would actually
we'll have a chat.
Look into getting into it. Listen, Dubai is great for anyone who wants a change of lifestyle. I think that's the real reason why everyone goes.
Yeah.
But your hustle level goes from here in England because you're so complacent, and England's a great place for business, as you know.
Yeah.
And then you get to Dubai and you're like a little tadpole.
Yeah.
In a massive ocean, and you're like, okay, I need to step it up. So that's why. But I feel like where you started peaking in the last recent years, you've been doing those things. Whereas
setting the foundations,
I started when I was 17.
Yeah.
So I didn't have time to go to networking events. I was just.
I suppose, but it was the difference is that was your life in terms of your father being in the trades, whereas I'm obviously corner shop and stuff. So it's different, I guess. I've had to push myself into it.
But it's amazing. So you got into the corporate world. And now what are you focusing on?
What do I do for a living? I have no idea. Like everyone asks, what do you even do? So
you give me some great advice when I call you, that's for sure.
Oh, thanks. I always answer the phone right quickly, don't I? That's what everyone says I do. So look, I work with property investors who need financing for their deals, whether it's development, bridging, or just mortgages, buy-to-lets, whatever, HMOs. And to me, that is just the function that I do, right? But it's the marination on top, as in answer the phone quickly, have good relationships with lenders so they can get things over the line, be knowledgeable, and be able to connect people with other people who might need each other. I think that's the USP, not I do mortgages, which is, there's loads of brokers out there.
Loads. And there's loads of agents and developers
out there. What is the secret sauce?
What makes us different? That's why you're here.
Yeah.
To show people that you need to have some different substance
Yeah.
to conquer the world.
And you've got to care as well. I do care a lot.
Yeah. And are you driven by financial gain in your industry?
No. I think money is a byproduct. Like, it'll come anyway. Like, so for people watching, listening, when you get a mortgage or a bridging loan or any kind of loan, it'll say on there how much the broker's getting paid. And sometimes it's quite a lot in London, but in Wales it's not a lot. So it depends where you are. And of course, some brokers charge fees. So there's ways of making money, but I don't think the money side of it never bothered me, because we've never had that much money, in the sense of it is what it is, right? What I like and what kind of drives me is just helping people and being able to help people, getting the chance to help people. And why? Because I guess selfishly, people come back and say, "Oh, you've been really helpful," or "Thanks, I'm telling someone else about you." That makes me feel great, right?
Yeah.
So it's just having.
I think going the extra mile really helps in business, in any business.
Yeah.
And but then I feel like then you have to actually get it down to structuring a company correctly.
You've got to set boundaries early on. This is one thing I learned, because again, when I started self-employed, I'm like, I want to help everyone out. I don't care what time. Call me on the weekend. Call me in the evenings. Yeah, great. I'll answer straight away. Great. Now I'm like, oh God, it's 7 p.m. Why are you messaging me? But I'll still reply. But that's my fault. I should have set those boundaries earlier on. There's no point changing it now, right?
Yeah, but that's why you need to keep up to date with your goals and current vision, and say, okay, but if that's where I want to take this company and this is where I want to structure this business, how am I going to create that?
Guess what I'm going tonight?
Go on.
I'm actually going to a goal setting workshop. This is what I'm doing tonight in the evening. Yeah.
You can just come to me for that.
Yeah,
I'm really
serendipity.
good at that. You've manifested me today.
Yeah.
I've got a big vision board with a world on it, and I print out every year, every New Year's Eve. I sit down and I write down my goals, and I actually take pictures off the internet, and I help get my colleagues to cut them out for me, because I don't have time to do all of the creative stuff, because like I said to you earlier, my creative side is really lessened because I'm so busy, unfortunately, but it'll get there. And then you put your pictures up, write checks to yourself.
Okay.
I do that.
Send yourself a letter?
Date.
To the future you? No?
They burn that. I did a lot of burning letters when I was in that stage of my life, of the past, burning the past. Try and not make it a part of you in your future.
Yeah.
And I feel like bringing past things into your current is very dangerous, and you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of cord cutting, they call it.
Wow. Do you think your why or your motivation can change as you grow older? As you develop? No, stays the same?
No. It changes with your happiness. I think the happier you are, then the stronger you'll be in anything you do.
Wow.
Even going to the gym.
Yeah.
You know, if you're got so much going on in your outside life and you're not happy, people can't even go to the gym, you know, and they're kind of physically, their brain can't take them there.
Gym is therapy, though. People should realize gym is a form of therapy.
Yes, it is. But you can get addicted to things sometimes. And I think as long as you're at one with yourself and you're not too self-absorbed with your looks and the exterior. I say this and then I'm like,
I think unfortunately, though, the problem is but the world we live in, unfortunately, looks matter, and people look at first impression. So, like, I think it's not been obsessed with looks; it's been really self-conscious. At least I am, like, about, because podcasting before would just be audio and audio only. Now it's on video. It's like you have to have a haircut or have to have a shave. Like, it's a lot of pressure now.
Yeah, but when I was in London, I was like, oh yeah, like towards my team, I turn up in gym wear to the office sometimes, trainers, like really, really scruffy. I don't wear makeup in a day. And then I get to Dubai and I'm like, oh no.
Can't be doing that in Dubai.
No way, I need a Rolls Royce to bring me to everything Dubai. Oh God, I should have said that loud. Okay, so as you say, so you've seen people diversify with right to rents. Now, what other ways do you think there is to make money at the moment?
We all hate them. I'm not sure if you deal sources.
Okay, no, I love deal sources.
Do you love deal sources? Oh my God! So maybe there are some good ones, but literally maybe like.
I know I am a deal sourcer.
Yeah, so you're one of the good ones, I imagine. But like deal sources who just gone on Rightmove and found a property.
Oh no.
Plucked up some numbers for the refurb and then think of it, and it's like, what? Like, hang on, and you want to charge £6,000 for that, or when they're not really off market or direct to vendor or they're not direct to estate agent, And there's a lot of it, especially in the lower value areas like Hull and South Wales.
Really?
Yeah. And then you challenge them, even as a broker. Listen, this is my client. You kind of screw them over. Yeah, no, they should have done their own due diligence. Like, well, what are they paying you $6,000 for?
Wow.
But yes, deal sources who
So
charge.
stay away from bad deal sources. But
Absolutely.
if you meet a good one, pay them.
So how does it work with you? Do you take someone's criteria and say, I'll find you a deal, or do you have deals that you found and say?
Yeah, obviously I've been in the industry for 17 years, so I've got a lot of contacts. And
you're connected.
Yeah, quite connected. So if you're not direct with vendor,
it's not a deal. It's not a sourced deal, is it?
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't even get involved. And I think that's a question you have to ask. Is this direct? Are you direct? And if it's a no, you know that you're on a long wing. It's tough being direct.
No, of course
let alone with three people on the line.
Yeah, but I think unfortunately the reason a lot of people get into deal sourcing initially is it's zero cost of entry to look at Rightmove, and it's what the property education companies train is to do deal sourcing, build up your cash pot, then buy a property. So there's a lot of bad deal sources out there.
And going to these, so you are on what sort of TV and entrepreneurship? Are you an entrepreneur?
I'm so glad you are. I am not. I hate that. I don't hate that word. But it's always a bit like imposter syndrome. I think an entrepreneur takes more risks than I do, and they probably solve more problems. But I do. So 2 years ago, one of my clients got nominated for Young Entrepreneur of the Year, and he took me. He was like, "Shaz, obviously you've helped me with what we've done, so let's go." So I went. And the ceremony was amazing. I was like, oh my God, this is great. Everyone's so different. Everyone's got all these businesses going on. And I must have manifested it in my head. So I put myself forward the year after and I got nominated.
This is something you would put on your vision board, by the way.
Yeah, I'm really good at quiet manifestation where I just think things. I might tell one or two people and it just kind of happens. So yeah, I put myself forward for it and I got nominated for Service Entrepreneur of the Year. They do it regionally, South Wales. But this is a big ceremony. So Stephen Bartlett won it a couple of years ago. So he calls it the Grammys of Entrepreneurship. Oh. And it didn't win, but it's all good. I think.
The fact that you got nominated is more.
100%, 100%. So that was good. This year, I think 6 industry award nominations. Haven't won any, which is fine. And I get it. There's politics behind it, but it's absolutely fine. Even being nominated is good. The BBC thing was radio. It wasn't TV. I wouldn't be good on TV, I don't think. Way too self-conscious. But
no, you're not.
But this is it. So the TV.
You're so not. By the way.
No. The radio thing was good.
I've had some guests on already. I'm not saying
You've had many guests on already.
I want to see all of my camera shots. I'm like.
Yeah, that's the thing. If I start looking at camera shots, I'll be like, no, can't have it on. But the BBC radio thing was really interesting because it was a show called The Everyday Hustle.
Oh wow!
So it was about mortgages, but also just about making money and similar to this. But I asked them, how did you come across me on my page? And they're like, oh, we've been following you around for a while, which shows then that using social media and Instagram actually works because you never know who's watching.
Yeah. Let's talk about social media.
Let's talk about social media.
You're very active on it. And you've done how many podcasts this year?
This is number 38. I think it is the last one of the year. It's too many. No one needs to see me.
Literally every other week of the year you've been on a podcast.
And they're mainly in London as well. All that travel time, man.
Oh.
But this is why I do normally do two a day or something.
Yeah. So you've done... You've won the award for doing the most podcasts in 1 year. I tell you that much for nothing. You're going to do more than me. So how do you find your clients from social media? Or because this is a really something to talk about.
It's an interesting question. I think the way I do my marketing for my business or for me to get business and leads, I like to think of it as a triple threat thing. So it is social media posting. It's networking, like DMing people. Like I think I DM you saying you've been on Kazi's podcast. How was it? So that's for me, that's a form of networking, right?
Yeah.
You've got to know how to do it without being a douchebag, right? And then also going to networking events. So do all those three. That works because if someone sees you at an event and comes over to you, they've seen you on social media. They kind of think they know you.
Yeah.
If you DM people and then you meet them again, there's that instant kind of, oh, I know you. Let's have a chat. So doing all three has helped. I think if it was just social media, it'd be okay. If it was just one or the other, it wouldn't work. But for me, all three. Because everyone says, why you travel so much? Why are you at these events? It's why not? You never know who you're going to meet. You never know.
1,000,000%. I feel a lot of people... I wasn't focused on social media, to be honest with you, up until a few years ago. But I didn't really need to be. I've got a high street office. I've had it for 17 years. All my clients, a lot of them is recommendations, referrals. So social media was the last thing on my list. And then I think when I went, obviously, step it up and you go to Dubai and social media is massive out there.
Everyone's on social media there.
Yeah. I was like, oh, wow, this actually works.
Yeah.
And now I've started doing more networking. So like you say, it all goes hand in hand.
That's it. It goes hand in hand. I think
all three.
Like if one should, the two can't work without the other. So you have to do the social media and the face-to-face networking. And yeah, it's worked amazingly for me.
Right. So the podcasts have been beneficial.
Oh yeah, with the podcasting, I think again it's a form of free advertising the way I look at it.
Yeah.
So this podcast might be 45 minutes to an hour. I might get 3-4 clips out of it as a minimum.
Mm-hmm.
I can repost those. Might get a couple of thousand people watching it. So if I was to say no to coming on, why? It's just silly, right? Yeah. So yeah, it's all.
Yeah, I feel a lot of people when I was messaging, you were the first person that got back to me. By the way, you were the hardest one to get on because you're busy and you're far. But and you had like 15 booked in probably.
Yeah.
But you were the first person to get back on because it is a nerve-wracking thing to start. As so thank you very much for that.
Problem.
So, what is your insight to the current market trends?
So in property finance, look, rates are slowly coming down. But to help people understand how rates and interest rates work, the Bank of England base rate, when that goes up or down, does not affect the fixed rate mortgages. One, because they're fixed anyway. But two, they only affect tracker mortgages because they track the base rate above or below. What affects fixed rate mortgages once they come off the fixed rate and you refix them again is something called a swap rate. So a swap rate is when lenders lend each other money over 3, 5, and 10-year period. So that figure has been coming down as well. So that's why fixed rates are coming down. But yeah, a lot of people, they get a bit confused that the base rate does have really very little bearing on a fixed rate mortgage. But yeah, rates are coming down.
Okay.
However, fees are getting really high. So maybe this time last year, an average buy-to-let mortgage would be, say, 4.5% with a 2% fee added back on. Great. Right now, you're looking at 5.5%, which is manageable
Great
still.
for you.
It's great. 5.5% with a 7% fee. Wow. Now, yes, it's interest only and the fees are added on, so you just pay interest on it. But I think it's risky because if you're taking out a 75% buy-to-let mortgage, so you're borrowing 75% of the value, and you add 7% onto that, it's 82%. Let's say you're on a 2-year fixed rate. If in 2 years the property values haven't gone up, you're going to be really over leveraged. And if that's all your portfolio, if you've got 3 of those, you might end up stuck. So I think it's a little risky to have that, but lenders are doing that to keep the rates down.
So is this a new tactic? Would you say you've seen a new trend this year?
Yeah, the fees are astronomical.
Fees are going higher. I guess there's other people benefiting though, which is kind of
well, it means more money people can buy because the stress rate is lower and they can get the mortgage, but 7% on your debt.
I just think it's absolutely fascinating because the government know what's going to happen, right? Like, let's be honest.
Oh yeah, they printed a lot of money during COVID, which they have to now.
So now we're paying for that, but I feel like the fact that UK they're keeping it strong. The property market is just so strong.
But who's keeping it strong? It's the investors who they keep trying to screw over. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's obviously because I'm in sales. So however many properties I've sold this year in UK in London, say last year it was 50% resi, 50% investment. This year it's probably like 70% residential owners and 30 buy-to-let investors because of the stress test. So that's again something new that come out this year. I'll be honest, if your property's got a tenant in there, it's just like impossible to sell these days.
Yeah, it's true.
Obviously, I get the best rents in England.
Of course. And I get the best mortgages in England and Wales.
No, I actually do. I like hands down. I get the best rates because when my clients are in trouble, which is every 5 years, in a recession or a life change, I look for other ways that I can increase their revenue on the same fee.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I haven't put my fees up this year.
Of course.
Because I'm afraid everyone had to, so, and my landlords had a hard time accepting that. So, I think it's about helping solve people's problems in your industry.
Absolutely.
As well.
I'm seeing a lot of people as well, speaking of diversification, instead of single lets or HMOs, go down the route of social housing or supported living.
That's what I'm doing, yeah.
Yeah, government contracts. Yeah. It's great and, you get guaranteed rent, but again, the lending side, a little bit more difficult, a little bit more expensive. So you need to factor that in.
It is. Yeah, that's for the people that are very transparent.
Of course, yes.
No, but I've got a new social housing contract, which is for families. I found HMOs, again, quite challenging to get on the lending side of things.
Yeah.
And the rate was higher, and we don't need more higher rates than we already got at the moment.
Yeah.
So I've again helped my clients and said, okay, I can get you similar money as a HMO.
Yeah.
But I'm going to put a family in instead, and they're like jumping up and down.
Do it as long as they care about the numbers at the end of the day.
Yeah, and that's what I care about as well.
Absolutely. In terms of supported living or social housing, just the distinction or what lenders look at. If the tenants are not vulnerable, so let's just say asylum seekers.
Yeah, that's right. My new one is
asylum. So then you got maybe ex-military, maybe ex-domestic abuse victims, people who just need a house rather than medication and stuff like that. From a lending side of things,
it's called assisted.
Oh no, so this is the confusion. You can call it what you want. Then investors call it what they want.
Yeah.
But from a lender side of things, they're non-vulnerable, so it's just social housing.
Okay.
It's when you have like maybe people with mental illnesses or learning difficulties, people who need ongoing care on site. That's then more assisted supported living. That's basically a mini care home, and that becomes really expensive.
Okay. And would you have to tell your lender that it's used as, say for example, I've got houses with one person with an illness, and then they'll have 2 support workers living there.
Yeah.
So it's like a mini.
It's like a mini care home. Nah, so they'll want to see. Look, I'm not the mortgage police before we have this conversation. Yeah, do what you want, but if you're going to be disclosing everything, you need to give them a copy of the lease, and that'll just tell them what's going to happen in the property, and they usually just look at that.
That's good.
Now, some leases can be a bit ambiguous or a bit vague.
Yeah.
That's on the lease.
As long as you've given them the transparency of the lease, and that's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna have 300 landlords calling me up tomorrow.
I'm not
when
the mortgage
this gets
police.
released, they're gonna be like, "Did you send my broker the?" I'm like gonna have to dish it. I'm charging you admin fee for that. Okay, and have you got any tips for the financial management?
Yes. Keep your bank statements in order and your bank accounts in order. So, I know a lot of people, because I see everyone's bank accounts, just have money in an account and it's just messy back and forth here and there. So, ideally, have one for your bills, one for your spending, and one for your savings. And that is, it sounds simple, right? But even I don't follow that, by the way. All my money just goes in one. But think of it this way: if in the future, next 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, you want to actually apply for finance, mortgage, or whatever, car, you're gonna have to send your bank statements across. Make it easy for them to make the judgment of whether or not they're gonna lend you money. If it's messy back and forth, it just isn't great. Also, keep on top of your credit file. I say this all the time. I can't say it enough, right?
Yeah.
Just have a look at it once a month.
Or pay for that subscription. I mean, I've got Checker on it.
Which one have you got? I've got to check my file.
Yeah, me too.
That's the best one.
I mean, I've got all of them.
Check my file's the best one because it pulls from Experian and Equifax and it's colourful.
Puts it both in one. And then obviously you get notifications.
Yeah, when it changes or when new searches are on there. And on that note as well, just avoid things like CCJs. In this country, I've said it so many times, to get a CCJ is so easy. That parking fine you've got.
Open your letters.
Because that parking fine you've got, if you ignore it, you get another letter, you ignore that your CCJ. It's as easy as that.
Yeah.
For the sake of, how much is the parking fine? 60 quid?
Yeah.
Just pay the 60 quid. Maybe argue about it afterwards, but get it paid so you're not getting chased or getting CCJ'd, because if you got a CCJ, it's hard to get a mortgage afterwards.
Yeah, and even some people want to argue if they move out of a property and their tenant moves out, because we get it all the time, and then they haven't changed their
the address
bill
and
over.
stuff.
I said to the landlord, no, just pay that Thames water bill for £30. We have, because obviously I've got a managing agent company, so we have loads of letters coming through the door for all of our properties. And the landlord was like, but I weren't there in that period. And I'm like, okay, but no one was there. So there still needs to be a bill paid. So we're trying to be on top of it, but some landlords don't want to pay. I'm like, no, you have to pay it, because we've had bailiffs in our office for
it's mad.
£50 and then plus charges, £250 now.
Oh God, it's not great. Other things, I think, if you are going to look to apply for finance, the big one that people fall over on is deposit. So there's 2 things. There's proof of deposit and source of deposit. So proof is you have the money. Yes, my savings, here's 6 months bank accounts, is there. Source of deposit is where it gets cool. It's like, where's that money come from? Lenders and underwriters will want to see a build up of funds. Or if it's a lump sum that's coming from somewhere, well, where's that money come from? Oh yeah, my auntie should give me a gift. Okay, great. Where's she got that money from? It sounds really fussy, but solicitors have to check that.
And overseas deposits?
Yeah, exactly.
Very tough, aren't they?
Where's it come from? Has it gone through the anti-money laundering checks? Just to make sure money's clean. It's a usual question to ask.
Are you finding it a bit of a challenge getting people overseas money into UK at the moment? I'm seeing a trend of that.
It depends where they're based. So Middle East usually is okay as long as they've got a trail of where that money's come from. It's normally fine. It's just when they can't prove where they got their money from, or if they're not working for like a multinational, sometimes that's like, okay, well,
How
build up the
about a
wealth.
proceeds of a sale?
Mm-hmm.
But then where would they check where they got that money from to buy the property that they then sold for massive profit?
Yes and no. It depends which broker you work with. I'm not just me, but lenders and underwriters have to check and just tick it off. Ultimately, it's the solicitor who has to sign it off. So if you can get a solicitor on board who's kind of okay with it, happy days.
Maybe knows a little bit about the background and done their due diligence.
Or has worked with you before. Maybe you've got the contact. You're like, listen, use this guy.
I would say some tips for everyone: have a really good solicitor, conveyancer, have a really good mortgage broker, and have a really good accountant.
Yes, I was going to say accountant.
And have a very good estate agent.
Absolutely.
Good managing agent.
Yeah.
And I think I'm a bit more of a property advisor now, and I like to consult a lot on what to buy and what not to buy.
You've got all this experience, so it'd be a shame just to.
I just want people to come to me and know that they can trust, my judgment. The thing is, there's a lot of advice out there, and I'm like, but I've actually done it all.
Yeah,
so I'm
credible.
I feel like when you see these people on screen.
And everyone's in real estate now. It's so easy to be in real estate.
Yeah.
What do you do? I'm in real estate.
Yeah.
The other thing as well, because I see it again, I just see bank statements all the time.
Oh,
if you're,
more tips.
Let's say you're going to lend me money, just because we've gone for food. You're going to pay me back for my food that I bought you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't put funny things like drug money on there or whatever. It's so stupid, and it just causes more questions than it's worth.
Yeah.
So little things like that.
And don't use, because I've got friends that I tell them, cash is not. They don't like it, so don't take out too much cash and don't put in too much cash.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
I agree.
And gambling.
Right, gambling. Do you want to talk about should we talk about OnlyFans? Did you think we were going to do this today?
Come, let's go for it.
No, so okay. OnlyFans generally.
I'm not going to ask if you subscribed on OnlyFans.
Listen, I'm just talking from a third-person perspective.
What you see in other people's bank statements.
Absolutely,
course,
absolutely. No, so
not that we can talk about. Disclose.
I'm not going to name anyone on or off air. OnlyFans comes up as OF and then whatever the name is, on transactions.
I wouldn't.
I'm telling you, it does.
Right, you're telling us.
I'm the subject matter expert on this.
Okay.
So that's what it comes up as. Yeah. Now, or Leslie Ladbrokes comes up as, I think it just comes up as Ladbrokes, William Hill. So it'll come up quite clear what it is. If you're spending, say, £50 a month on each of those or either of those, that's fine. Where lenders have a problem is if it goes from 50 to 100 to 200, then it becomes habitual and a worrying trend. And then that's my last question. So 1 or 2 gambling subscriptions,
one or 2 horse bet, or
yeah.
So maybe 1 or 2 subscriptions.
It's okay. This is when it becomes like an ongoing trend. It's getting worse and worse. That's when it's a problem.
Okay.
So do what you want for your habits. Just
well, and remember they go back. They can go back 6 months. Really, realistically, you would say they ask for 3, but then they can go back 6.
If the 3 just isn't clear, which goes back to having clean bank statements, then they can ask for more.
Yeah, of course. And obviously, your employee has to match up, and everything has to be squeaky clean.
100%.
So casinos, no.
No, I do it. It's just don't make it seem like a worrying trend where it's like, hang on.
Don't do it. Trust me.
Is this guy lonely? He's been going to casinos once, 3 times.
Yeah, 3 times a week. He went that week. People don't realize it can really damage your life. CCJ can really damage your life.
CCJs are so bad, and people then say 6 years on your last. Exactly, but people say, why are they asking so many questions? It's like, well, you're asking to borrow £100,000. I think they've got every right to ask questions.
1,000,000%. And they're going to ask questions, and it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Money's going to get harder and harder
to
get, especially liquid cash. Are you seeing more of a trend on the cash purchases? And how are people getting their money?
So, yes. So, again, in the world that I operate in, a lot of people are buying properties in cash, doing them up and then refinancing through me. But in terms of how they bought it in cash initially, they're normally using investor finance. So they give an investor, say, 12% for their money and then just pay them back that way. It's great, but it's very, very borderline in breaking like FCA regulations. You're not meant to be marketing for money that way. So on social media, you can't just say, I've got this great deal. I'll give you 10%. I need this much money. You need to pre-qualify who you're speaking to and make sure they're a sophisticated investor. You can't just ask for money like that.
Okay.
But so, everyone does.
For example, I have an investor at the moment.
Yes.
Who would do their checks on where their money's come from? How does that work?
So when they transfer you the money, they should never transfer you to directly. It should be through a solicitor who does the anti-money laundering checks.
Okay.
Oh, that's very important. Never take money from someone directly like that. No. Any investors go through a solicitor and they should do the anti-money laundering checks.
Okay, that's a really good,
Very important.
really good advice.
Yeah.
And you'd recommend to set up a new vehicle, because that's what I would recommend.
Yep.
I would do each property that you're going to go into a JV with someone.
If it's a JV, yes. But if it's a pure hands-off investor, then just do it in your own holding company.
Okay,
But can you believe? So this is what I mean. People are lending money to the tune of like hundreds of thousands of pounds unsecured.
I know.
It's mad. I mean, but it works. We know people who just do that and then pay them back.
Yeah, I think trust is really big here, but I wouldn't advise it at all. I think like I spoke to someone last week, and they'd had like £300,000 robbed.
Robbed. Wow.
They trusted someone so well. They went into business with them. I can't even remember what business it was now, because I speak to so many people on a weekly basis. This was last week, yeah. And I think it was a restaurant, and I think it was a care home.
Gone from restaurant to care home.
Gosh, it was a care home, and they £300,000.
Wow.
And their care home went missing. They went missing, and
what was the paperwork like? Was there any paperwork?
They just trusted the person. They just transferred them. Or the solicitor, I think, 300,000. They bought this building, or they invested in this building, and they just went.
That's crazy.
Went. And now these poor people of like, I think they're 60, are fully loaded on their property. Their property price has come down. Now they can't get a refinance because they're at retirement age. They've got to sell their house. They've got 100 grand liquid in it, and these poor people worked their whole lives because they were unencumbered. And
not great, is it? Like, I mean,
it's really sad.
And
We've got 6-year-old people now like stressed out of how they're gonna survive, and it's just so sad to see.
So I think the phrase someone said to me before is trust, but also verify at the same time. So yes, we trust you, but give us an example of who else have you worked with? Can we speak to them?
Yeah.
For that much money as well, you shouldn't be trusting like that.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of a Dubai thing. It's very like I said, there's no conveyancing, there's no anti-money laundering checks, there's no tax.
A lot of good faith.
It's all good faith, and yeah, it works, okay. But I think this is why UK is such a strong economy. Let's be honest, it's easy to make money here. Yeah,
and it's a lot more, because of the processes and the laws and regulations, a lot more fail-safes to make sure things don't go wrong.
Yeah. So there's a lot of security and backing, and I think that's probably why. I think a light bulb just went. I think that's why UK is a great place to live.
Isn't it slow in the UK though? In terms of making money from property, slower than it is in Dubai, for example. So when I say slow, I mean like buy a property, wait for it to go up in value from 15, 20 years.
Yeah, but that's why there's people like me that can very speed that along for you. If you find someone who can get you good deals under market value, source the right property, source the right builders. Don't waste time doing the development. Don't waste time getting planning. Someone knows what they're doing. It only takes long when you don't know what you're doing. You just go on hope. Oh yeah, that'll go up in 15 years.
I wouldn't even class those people as an investor. They're just landlords who bought a property. Do you know what I mean? An investor,
the old school landlord.
Yeah.
That has to change. The old school landlord. I think people don't want to sit on a property for 20, 30 years and then hope
it goes up.
Grow by like 5-10%.
There's no point.
Because there's other things that you can get money quicker. Do you feel like how with clients now, I feel like a lot of younger people are buying properties.
Yes.
Do you feel like it's because they're getting help from people like me?
Yeah, no, because now there's so many ways to access property.
Right to rents.
And just there's so many ways people like yourselves who are giving them things they didn't think about. Oh, this is possible, and these are numbers, and we crack on. So there's a lot of people with a lot of money that is saved up, and they just want to invest, whether it's in buying a business, property, crypto, whatever. But people.
That was my next question.
Go on.
Crypto.
Yes.
Can you buy a property in the UK with proceeds of crypto?
Proceeds of crime. Proceeds of crypto.
Some banks see it as that, but
if you've withdrawn the money, then you can. So if it's liquid and it's out of the account, you can. It's not easy. Not everyone will do it.
Very limited lenders.
Very limited. If it's in your wallet, no chance, because that could go down tomorrow, right?
Oh yeah.
It's got to be out.
You take it out, put it into a bank account.
and then they'll do some enhanced due diligence on it.
How long would it take?
I've only done one, and
Really?
it took about an extra 3 months on top of the usual conveyancing process. And it was for the bank, they're comfortable that this is how what they wanted to check was the initial investments. If you put 10 grand in and that was 100 grand, where do you get your 10 grand from? That's all, because that's all it can check, right?
How about big money, like millions?
Same difference. Where did you get your initial input from?
Okay, as long as so you
So
go
I'm more
back to the
concerned about the
original
initial
source.
input. Yeah.
And then you can obviously see the trends.
Because it's like shares. It's like stocks and
Stocks and
shares.
shares, yeah.
You can't really prove the middle bit because that's just the market. Where did you get your investment from?
Okay. So, do you recommend crypto as an
Listen. My thoughts on crypto
as
are
a side hustle?
my thoughts on crypto. I think it's very useful. I think the not Bitcoin. What's the
ETH?
No. The technology behind it is great. Yeah, I think it's useful, and it will be very useful in buying houses, buying things, fractional ownership, all that kind of stuff. But during COVID, we were led to believe that by now you could go to like McDonald's and pay for your food with crypto. Like, it'd be that easy, buy petrol. But that's not happened. So it definitely sped up the awareness, not the adoption of it, for whatever reason. So
Banks just don't like it, and we know why, because they're obviously getting rid of it.
It's
Crypto will
unregulated
get rid
as well.
of cash.
Yeah.
And the banking system. I did a transfer once, and NatWest.
Did they block it?
Oh my god, they put, and I'm like, I've been a NatWest customer my whole life. Got about 40, I shouldn't even say this on the screen. But yeah, no, I've got loads of bank accounts. But yeah, they didn't like it at all. So
I think eventually, when it becomes regulated, or when the government launches its own cashless type, that's when it becomes mainstream, right? But that's a while away. I know they've been trying.
I think people should take risks, but I think people need experts to take risks.
They need to understand,
and because it's a scary thing losing money, isn't it?
Yeah, unless they're going to give you the money and you manage their wallet for them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend people to put their life savings into crypto and manage it themselves.
Yeah, that's what I mean. With an expert, but again, who do you trust to give so much money to? And then how about if they just say, "Oh, your money's gone now. It didn't do very well this last 6 months. I've lost your life savings," and it's really happening. And I think that's why we need to make that aware that everyone needs to be really careful and maybe contact us. Maybe if you feel like you're going to be put into a little vulnerable position with going into something like this.
Is it money you can afford to lose or not lose sleep over? I think that's my threshold with investments.
Yeah.
Because if it's money that you should basically be able to set it and forget about it. If it goes up, great. If not, it's an investment.
Okay. And businesses.
Yes.
How do you business finance? A lot of people now are getting lending to buy
businesses. Oh my god! So good friend of mine, Daniel Ludlow. I introduce you guys. I think you might get him on the podcast. He's in Dubai all the time as well.
Oh, okay.
He's got a real estate company in Dubai. Yeah. Anyway, so he runs a program called the 5D program, and it's like a business buying network. He teaches people how to do it.
I've seen him. I think I spoke to him the other day.
Really white teeth.
Yeah.
Lovely guy. So he's from Wales as well.
Oh yes.
We're both from Newport. We're both from the same city. All the best people in Wales. The ongoing joke is we only ever see each other outside of Wales whenever we catch up, even though we live like 20 minutes from each other. But yeah, so he has this kind of program, and some of the guys in the group are buying businesses with very little money going in. Combination of seller finance, invoice finance, performance-based finance. If I'm honest, stuff that to me was alien like 6 months ago. But he's like, Shaz, can you do it? I was like, I'm not going to do it, but I'll learn about it until I go into it. But it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's in a very American model, but it works. If you could buy, so my kind of friend or my client who had 15 properties in 9 months, right? It took me 9 months to get this much cash flow because I bought one business and it does the same. And I put less money in that business. So why would I not buy another business?
So have you done? You're not into business finance yet.
I'm not comfortable enough or confident enough to say I do it. I'm still learning about it.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's something that I've been hearing a lot of, and obviously, again, if you're not an expert in that business, like with property and with crypto, I think you need to find an expert before you buy into a business, because again, there's so much money you could lose
100%.
with opening companies.
100%.
And I think knowledge is power. If you don't know what you're getting into, don't get into it.
Don't get into it. But I think everything we've touched on, there's so much education out there, good education out there, good people teaching this kind of stuff. So it's not hard to learn or find the knowledge. Yeah, you might have to, for free. Go on YouTube and find it and combine it yourself, or you can pay someone who'll give it to you in a different way.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's how you learn and stuff like that. So, yeah, like we said, it's risky and be prepared, but there's just so much out there that gives you that knowledge.
And what would you say would be the most monetary beneficial business or thing to do now or for 2024?
So in terms of businesses, you know what? I was looking at businesses that can't be taken online. So, for example, I was looking at a tanning salon because you can't take that online. You have to physically have a tanning salon, but one of those coin-operated ones, because then you just need one member of staff there.
I used to go to a coin-operated tanning salon when I was about 16.
Yeah, any good?
It was okay.
But those kind of businesses like barbershop salons where you can't, you can't move that online.
Yeah.
So they can't be replaced. Garages, MOT, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at businesses,
trades,
manual type trades.
Work.
How to make money in 2024? Look, my favorite rapper is Childish Gambino, and he says in a song a while ago, he says, "There's a million ways to shine. Just choose one. There's so many ways to make money. It's not difficult."
So you haven't got any tips for the future?
For people, well, find out what you're good at, find out what you enjoy, and where the overlap is. Do that.
Okay, that bit in the middle. Yeah, I agree. I think that's really great advice, and I feel like you've really hit it on the head there. What are your personal goals for 2024?
So with the business, I really, really, really need another broker or more brokers.
Okay.
So
looking for staff, please.
Staff, please. So we can do what I do. So lead generate and get business and find the deals. It'll allow me to be a bit more time free and do more podcasts.
Come to Dubai.
And
open a business out there.
Absolutely. But it means I can be a bit more mobile and travel and that. Personally, I'm content. You know what? People are like, are you busy? What's your work-life balance? This and that. I'm just happy. Like, my office is 5 minutes from where I live. So I get to the office normally 7:30. 7:30 and 9, no one calls in. So I get loads done. And then most days I'm done by 3, 3:30, right?
7:30.
Yeah. But then I'm awake anyway. But then, I get everything done by 2, 2:30.
Mm-hmm.
I go to the gym, go home. And then, I keep an eye on my emails, but I'm not as on it as I used to be. So that's balance for me.
Yeah.
I've got capacity to be busy, but I'm as busy as I want to be.
Life is about balance, right?
100%. And I'm happy with my income, happy with my balance, happy with
about balance,
everything.
Definitely. And have you had any challenges that you can tell us that you've learned from? And how can you help people with the challenges that you've gone through?
Interesting. What challenges have I had? You know what it is? I'm always a glass half full kind of person. So when there's things that have gone wrong or whatever, I'm just like, okay, cool. I mean, I'm quite emotional. I will react in the minute for like 2 minutes, and I'm like, okay, cool. Now let's just deal with it. Look, the budget happened. Things happen all the time. So the budget happened. Everyone's like, oh my God, lending's going to stop. No, it wasn't. Chill out. So I'm not that way where things are always a challenge, good and bad. I don't look at things in a sense of this is going to ruin me or ruin my business, because there's just so much to do and so much to help.
Positive.
Yeah, I think so, yeah, positive mental attitude. And it doesn't mean you're like rainbows and sunshine. It's not that. But it's about once you know how much control you have over your life and your business, things change.
I think balance is so important. Definitely. I really recommend people to balance their lifestyle out and find other
100%.
ways that makes them happy other than business and money.
Yeah. Look, don't let your job or your business run your life. It should be the other way around. You should build your vocation around your life.
1,000,000%. Okay. And we spoke about advice to enhance wealth lessons. Where do you think the market's going to turn in 2024? So
I was looking at some repossession data the other day in preparation for this, actually. Just thought I'd have some knowledge. And repossessions are slightly on the up.
Yeah, I've seen that.
But not enough to be a concern.
Yeah.
I don't think.
No. Again, so I anticipated so much more.
I think the market will settle down. This is what I mean. My investor clients haven't stopped investing. So for me, it's business as usual. They're still doing 2-3 deals every quarter per person, which is what they were doing last year.
Maybe making a bit less. Happy
to make a bit less, but eventually rents will have to increase slightly to cover the increased costs. It's a business after all, right?
They cannot go up any more than they've gone up.
But then
the last year,
it's a business.
Gone up like 25%.
Well, they have, but it's a business. So if the landlord's costs have gone up, like landlords aren't making money anymore, right?
Yeah, but I feel like it's done now. I feel like 2024, I'll be honest with you. I feel like people find it really hard to make money at the moment
with property.
Yeah.
Definitely, which is why there's those other strategies that people are starting to do to get cash flow or get a pot of cash.
But the prices have to come down.
I think they will.
You still think they're going to come down?
I think it depends where, though. Some areas have stayed pretty buoyant. But places like South Wales, Hull, Manchester, those places have come down a little bit. Mortgage approvals have gone up as well. So there's applications being done and they're getting approved. All in all, I'm positive. I'm always positive. I think there's enough to go around.
Okay. So 2024.
Yes.
We're manifesting everyone to make loads and loads of money. Listen to loads of rap music. Get your goals in order.
Yes. I need to work on that. Maybe this could be my 2024. I've never been big on travel, see. You know why? I know why it is as well. Because as a youth, all of my holidays were going to Pakistan with parents. So they're all just family holidays. I've been away twice with my friends. 3 times with my friends, sorry. And that includes Dubai. So yeah, travel has never been a big thing for me. But I understand.
Get that on your vision board.
It needs to be because it opens up your world, doesn't it?
Yes, it opens up your eyes. I think it's a great way why I actually... would I call myself successful? But it's a part
it is
of my
because you become
success.
world-wise and
you
understand.
And my eyes are just wide open to different cultures.
Well, hold me accountable. Ask me in 6 months.
No, I'm going to ask you like in 2 weeks' time.
Oh, wow.
Where are you traveling to?
Yes, okay.
This year and when are you traveling to it?
Make it happen.
Making it happen. And what I would recommend people to educate themselves more.
Yes, educate yourself. Look, I'm all for self-education as well. It's very important to just immerse yourself. But also, I think there is value in structured education. Even if you have to pay for it, don't be cheap. Don't be short-sighted. It's going to cost me 10 grand. Well, you're going to
pay for what you get in life, guys. Simple
as
as that.
On that, like we said earlier, trust people, but verify what they're telling you as well.
Okay. And what game would you say life is like the most?
Oh, interesting. I was playing Monopoly yesterday. And it is a bit like Monopoly. You're going round and round. What game? I'm going to say Monopoly, yeah. Just because it's in my head right now.
Okay, that's a good one for us.
For real estate?
Obviously. I one of my favourite games, I think, was Monopoly growing up. Yours?
Yeah, but my sister cheats all the time. She always wants to be the banker.
Cheats Monopoly.
She wants to be the banker. Like, don't be I was like, if you're going to be the banker, at least be legit with the banker.
It's an unwritten law. Yeah. I'm going to ask you some multiple choice questions.
Go on.
Rap or house music?
Oh, rap.
All day long?
All day long.
British or American rap?
American rap.
Okay, who's your favourite rapper?
Childish Gambino.
Wow, we said that earlier. What's your favourite film?
Oh, Godfather 1 and 2.
I was about to say, so war, comedy or romantic?
Of those 3, comedy.
Really?
Yeah, I love a good rom-com as well.
That's cute. I don't even watch films. I'm terrible. Okay, and football, watches or cars?
Watches. Not that I have a collection, but I have no interest in football. Not really a flashy car person, so yeah, watches.
Do you feel like watches are a good investment?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. I know a lot of people who've made me off watches.
And watches are quite down at the moment. Good time to buy.
Good time to buy. Just trust us.
Buy, sell. That's what we're gonna be. We're gonna be on next year saying buy, sell. That's I'm gonna be like sell now. But that's what life's about, and I really think that that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna help people buy and sell correct, and help the world. I think
just make less financial mistakes.
I feel really like pure in this podcast.
Oh, it's just the way. It's the heavenly setup.
I'm like, I just want to help everyone, and I want to see where we're going to go into it. I'm really excited about next year.
I'm excited about I don't think is, with this whole New Year resolution thing, I don't do like quarterly. Every quarter I will sit down with myself and just think, how's it gone? What we do next quarter? And the only way is up. You know what I mean? You gotta have faith in yourself and back yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always winning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on to see both sides like Chanel. Shaz and Chanel had the best podcast today.
Yes, we did.
Come to Dubai next year.
Shall do.
There's going to be loads of amazing shows coming up in Dubai.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about.
Fabulous.
And I'm not going to forget you when my podcast
big
blows.
Yes, when you're the female Stephen Bartlett. You're going to be bigger than him.
Oh, I hope so. I want you on, by the way.
Oh, Stevie B. I can make that happen.
Please. I need to manifest that next year. But yeah, thank you, honestly.
No worries.
You've been
Thanks
so
for having me.
amazing.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. And anything, let us know. Mortgages, finance, property, the world, manifestation, goals.
Hit
dreams.
that like button, hit that share button, click subscribe. See you next time on See Both Sides Lecture.
Peace out.